Again, the CDC, control and prevention, and I'm just pointing this out because it's looking like it's pretty accurate to what's been going on. And of course, I'm taking your attention straight to the bottom there, open period, 15th of November 2019 to 15th of May 2020. And this was a public health advisory quarantine program. They are programming you to jump when they say jump, do as they say do, wear a mask when they say wear a mask, don't go out when they say don't go out. And I'd just like to ask you all, and please feel free to give me a reply. So you've had a couple of months now of what a very, very watered down New World Order looks like. Imagine this, what you've been through, but imagine it 10,000 times worse, and you'd be getting a little closer to what it would be like if we don't wake up and end this. Show that to everyone. I'm doing this again because I just think it needs doing. Is this your first lethal injection, Mr. Gates? No, I've done millions. Well, I think what we should do, if it comes out, which we know they've already got in the pipeline ready to come out, they're just waiting for possibly a second wave, and then they'll eventually bring the poison out. I think we should get independent someone that we trust, like Dr. Bashar or Dr. Buttar, to get and check the ingredients of the poison and make sure that he gets the first 10 shots, just to make sure he's 10 times more protected than us. Anyone disagree with that? Department of Social Services, this is America of course, but basically it's saying that they can come and take your kids, and they'll use the bullshit as an excuse. As a participant in state assistance benefits, including cash aid, CalFresh and Medi-Cal, and in accordance with the State of California Emergency Order number 3.21.20.EO-N-35-20 and N-25-20, you are being informed that bullshit testing is declared mandatory for all members of your household receiving assistance. You may receive the test free of charge any of the participating sites in Merced County, California. Please refer to the attached pamphlet for testing sites and information related to bullshit testing. Appointments are required for testing. You can register online at, that's the bullshit there, or there's a phone number there. Test will be performed Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Failure to obtain tests by June 1st, 2020 will result in the temporary suspension of your benefits beginning on July 1st, 2020 and continue until such time that testing has been completed. In addition, should you test positive for bullshit and in compliance with the State of California Welfare and Institutions Code, the Human Service Agency of Merced County may deem it necessary to remove all children under the age of 18 from your household who have tested negative and place them in temporary foster care until such time that you have been determined to be recovered. Please feel free to contact caseworker with any questions you have regarding this. They're going after the kids. They're running out of adrenochrome fast. So they need your kids, and that's what this is about. Again, another attack on the public. How much more are we going to put up with this bullshit when anyone with half a brain cell knows that this is a pandemic? Human rights laws should be suspended to safeguard easing of lockdown, says government's formal legal counsel. The complexity of the new lockdown rules could lead to legal challenges and put police in an intolerable position, says Sir Stephen Laws. Yes, because let's get rid of the human rights laws, because under that you have the right to life. But if that's not there anymore, you don't have a right to life. So they can come, take you away, inject you with whatever they say, And if you die, well, that's just a side effect. Boris Johnson should suspend human rights laws to prevent legal challenges to the easing of the bullshit lockdown rules in the dangerous weeks ahead, the government's former top lawyer has said. Traitor to humanity, he should say. Sir Stephen Laws, traitor to humanity. Former first parliamentary counsel responsible for drafting all government laws said the complexity of the new social distancing rules meant that risked becoming mired in legal action over human rights that would undermine the fight against the bullshit. In such dangerous and unusual times, the government could not risk the courts overturning its policy in a restoration of the use of the law for politics by other means, said Sir Stephen in a report you think tank Policy Exchange, where he is a senior fellow. Now you'll notice there he says Sir Stephen Laws, former first parliamentary counsel responsible for drafting all government laws. And that is very important because government laws only apply to government or those that work for government. Just pointing out something there, you can take it or leave it. Followed him for 50 miles, the lying bastard. From one of our readers, my 95-year-old grandfather never tested. Two doctors saw him 48 hours before death. One present at his death with not a mention or suspicion of bullshit by either of them, nor the care home staff. Dr. 3 signs this on death certificate. Cause of death. 1A. Dementia. 2. Bullshit viral pneumonia. It's not bullshit viral pneumonia. It was just pneumonia because of the other underlying problems he had. But again, they're trying to push the bullshit. Mass protests in Munich and Berlin while sleepy Scotland are petrified to leave the house. Get out, get a grip and live your life. And please, please stop clapping for genocidal sociopaths on a Thursday night. Peace out. Italian police and military units storm Vatican City and arrest paedophile Cardinals. Italian law enforcement units arrested scores of Cardinals last week, while the Italian military shortly afterward swept into Vatican City. The Italian Parliament voted overwhelmingly to merge Vatican City into the City of Rome, effectively ending Catholicism reign over the city-state. Now, of course, if you don't know, the Vatican City is its own separate state, separate from Italy. Well, they've merged it into Rome, so now it is part, and now they can go after the paedophiles that we absolutely know are in there, because the church is all involved in this shit. They have to be, because they've been protected by them. The operation was codenamed Spotlight after the 2015 movie about clergy sex abuse scandal in Boston, Massachusetts. As a cover-up, the Italian police sent busloads of orphans into Vatican City for the annual Cardinal Convention. Italian police had to smuggle the Cardinals out of on the bus to face criminal charges in Italian courts. Catholic clergy overseas are quick to point out their peers who are under arrest are victims of a virulent strain of anti-Catholicism and hated of the man-boy sacrament. Swiss guards were caught unaware. It was obvious their pointy pikes were no match for assault rifles. The invasion was bloodless. No one was injured. At the time, the Italian government is not sure what is going to do with all the wealth and papacy built up over the centuries. Insiders say many buildings will be transformed into museums. Other assets will probably be auctioned off and given to survivors of clergy abuse. It's poetic justice, one government official remarked, and the paedophile priest just got slammed with poetry. Ministers plan to give more UK public bodies access to phone data. Expansion of Snoopers Charter would allow more authorities to access web browsing histories. Ministers want to expand the scope of spying on UK surveillance laws to give more public authorities, including a pension watchdog and the Environment Agency, the power to access vast database of personal phone and computer data. 5 additional public bodies are to be allowed to obtain communications data under the Investigatory Powers Act, frequently dubbed the Snoopers Charter, as they are increasingly unable to rely on local police forces to investigate crimes on their behalf, according to documents published by the government. The US whistleblower Edward Snowden once described the act as the most extreme surveillance in the history of Western democracy. But while you're asleep, you know, they're going to bring it in. Oh no, roadkill. I mean, died from bullshit. Being given papers so that I can travel without police interference is oddly reminiscent of things I read about in history class. Yeah, you won't be able to go anywhere unless you've got your paper proving you've been poisoned. Same shit. We're reliving it. EE switch on ultra-fast kill weapon mobile network in 21 UK cities. This was mobile operator EE BT has today switched on their new kill weapon ultra-fast mobile broadband network in a further 21 new cities and large towns across the United Kingdom, including locations such as Bath, Chelmsford, Loughborough and Rochester. As well as going live across several new towns and cities, the operator has also extended their coverage to a number of additional high footfall places, including Bath, Royal Crescent and Pulteney Bridge, London Bridge and London's Thornton Heath railway station. The development means that EE's kill weapon network is now live across busy parts of 71 UK cities and towns, which achieved their initial deployment goal and means they currently cover more places in the country than any other operator. Hardly a surprise, as they did start their rollout a few months ahead of Vodafone, which in turn began ahead of O2 and 3 UK. At present, the operator is only able to harness a 40 megahertz slice of the 3.4 gigahertz spectrum band for the kill weapon service. Although more bands are due to be released by Ofcom this year, e.g. 700 MHz and 3.6 to 3.8 GHz. Kill weapon. Mark Allen, CEO of BT Consumer Division. Mark Allen is Allura is one of those that needs to be personally held accountable for this. We have kill weapon coverage in more places than any other operator and remain focused on connecting even more towns and cities in 2020 and beyond to keep our customers connected in the busiest places. Of course, very shortly afterwards, you'll all be dead, so it won't really matter how fast it is, will it? Trump charges Obama with biggest political crime in American history. Retreat storm after Justice Department drop Flynn case. Obama, US rule of law is at risk under Trump. Opinion: under Trump, American exceptionalism means misery for God and country. Christian case for Trump is a thin reed. Yeah. Donald Trump continued to fume over the Russian investigation on Sunday, more than a year after special counsel Robert Mueller filed his report without recommending any charges against the president, but only 3 days after the Justice Department said it would drop its case against Michael Flynn, Trump's first national security advisor. The biggest political crime in American history by far, the president wrote in a tweet. Accompanying a conservative talk show host claimed that Barack Obama used his last weeks in office to target incoming officials and sabotage a new administration. The tweet echoed previous messages retweeted by Trump, which earned rebukes from relaying conspiracy theories. On Sunday afternoon, the president continued to send out a stream of tweets of memes and right-wing talks heads claiming that an anti-Trump conspiracy. One tweet by Trump simply read, Obamagate. Trump fired Flynn, a retired general, in early 2017 for lying to Vice President Mike Pence about conversation with the Russian ambassador regarding sanctions levied by the Obama administration in retaliation for interference in the 2016 election. The US intelligence community has long held that such efforts were meant to tip the election towards Trump and away from Hillary Clinton, the pedophile, the Democratic nominee. Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI, which Trump has acknowledged, and cooperated with Mueller, who was appointed to take over the investigation of Russian interference after Trump fired FBI Director James Comey. Mueller did not establish a criminal conspiracy, but did lay out extensive links between Trump and Moscow and instances of possible obstruction of justice by the president. Flynn sought to change his plea while awaiting sentencing, and the president championed his case, flouting a possible pardon. On Thursday, in an act that stunned the US media, Attorney General William Barr said the Justice Department would drop the case entirely. An app to trace movements of bullshit positive people? Where are the apps tracking pedophiles and rapists? Oh, that's not important. No, that's not important, because that only applies usually to the kids. So we're going to go after those that are, got no disease, because there's no such bleeding disease in the first place. It's bullshit. There is no evidence whatsoever that the bullshit even exists. There is not one spark of evidence. There is no test for it because they haven't identified it, because it doesn't exist. It's the normal flu that you get, but they've decided, how can we corral everyone? We'll make up some bullshit that happens quite regular, which is what they've done. Father of World Wide Web launches radical startup to take back the internet from Google and Facebook. For people who want to make sure the web serves humanity, we have to concern ourselves with what people are building on top of it. Tim Berners-Lee told Vanity Fair last month, "I was devastated," he said, while going through a litany of harmful and dangerous developments on the past 3 decades of the web. That's why the father of the World Wide Web has launched a startup that intends to end the dominance of Facebook, Google and Amazon, while the process letting individuals take back control of their own data. Berners-Lee, now new online platform and company Inrupt, is being described as a personal online data store, or pod, where everything from messages, music, contacts or other personal data will be stored in one place, overseen by the user, instead of an array of platforms and apps run by corporations seeking to profit from personal information. The project seeks personal empowerment through data and aims to take back the web, according to the company's statements. The man who created the World Wide Web by implementing the first ever successful communication between a hypertext transfer protocol, HTTP, client and server via the internet in 1989 lamented that his creation has been abused by powerful entities for everything: mass surveillance to fake news to psychological manipulation to corporations commodifying individuals' information. We are winning the information war, as you can see here. Chaos and confusion as Dominic Raab changes lockdown advice 3 times in an hour. Dominic Raab has shared 3 conflicting messages this morning as he attempted to clear up confusion surrounding Boris Johnson's lockdown exit plan. The Foreign Secretary started off by telling Sky News that scientists are now looking at whether there can be some limited contact between 2 households within the same family. He expressed his own disappointment about being unable to see his mum on her birthday at the weekend. He said, "We've asked scientists to give us some advice on what the net would be due to the transmission rate. Until we've got that advice back, we're not in a position to say, yes, you can positively do that, but it is something we want to look at." So I want you to recall that what he's saying here, when this all comes out, because those that listen to me, my channels, know this is an absolute scamdemic. And these people, these individuals, should be held personally liable for the pain and suffering they've inflicted on every member of the public. However, within the same hour, Raab then went on to tell BBC Breakfast that people could meet with both parents separately, so long as they complied to social distancing measures and kept 2 metres apart, which is absolute utter bullshit. Because the reason we build up our immune systems is by touching others and other things, and then we get whatever bugs they've got, and our immune system destroys them or builds the antibodies. This is destroying our immune system, what they're doing here. Raab says you can meet family members in park with social distancing. When asked if people can meet their mum in the morning and dad in the afternoon, he replied, outside, in the outdoors, staying 2 metres apart, yes. Even though there is absolutely no evidence that 2 metres has any benefit whatsoever, and even the scientists say it's utter bullshit, but they're keeping us in fear. Well, I'm not living in fear because I know it's utter bullshit. But I know there are a lot out there. When you see anyone wearing a mask, that's because they're in fear. Not because they're scared of catching the virus. They actually believe that that mask will protect them, when it does nothing of the sort. And if you don't believe me, think about all the medical shows you see, where when they go into an operating theatre, the only one wearing a mask is the doctors and nurses, because they don't want to spit or have any of their crap go into an open wound, because that's the only way you can get a virus being injected into you or cut open and getting in that way. But let them keep saying what they say, eh? Fall for their bullshit. He then went on to explain that households are still not able to mix inside the home, but confirms SAGE experts are attempting to work out a date in the future. Right. I want you to stop in the comments. I want you to tell me when this all comes out that these evil, satanic, Luciferian bastards have brought this on us deliberately to try and bring in a new world order. Although this may just be a test run, but what should the punishment for them, every member of SAGE and every member of the cabinet, be? I want you to tell me in the comments what their punishment should be. But just minutes after the interview, Raab changed his guidance for a third time and told BBC Radio 4 that the public could meet both parents at the same time in the park, so long as they kept 2 metres apart. The reason he keeps contradicting himself is because he's shitting it, because he knows no matter what, we're going to be coming for him, and he and the rest of these evil satanic bastards are going to pay the ultimate price for their corruption.
If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. The lie can be maintained only for such time as the state can shield the people from the political, economic and/or military consequences of the lie. It thus becomes vitally important for the state to use all of its powers to repress dissent. For the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus by extension, the truth is the greatest enemy of the state. Joseph Goebbels.
And finally, as many of the government have already done, come to the dark side. We have masks. You can't touch your face if someone is sitting on it. Do your part to fight the bullshit. Marty, whatever happens, don't ever go to 2020. A moment of tension in Vatican. If the bishop moves forward, the Queen can take him. Schools thinking they can control the spread of bullshit when they can't even stop an outbreak of nits. To spice up our sex life, my wife said she would dress up as my favourite Star Wars character. After walking into the bedroom and seeing her, I said, Jabba the Hutt is not my favourite character. She replied, F off, you cheeky bastard. I haven't got change yet. At the store was an X on the floor by the register for me to stand. I've seen too many Roadrunner cartoons to fall for that crap.
Dennis Healy. World events do not occur by accident. They are made to happen, whether it is to do with national issues or commerce, and most of them are staged and managed by those who hold the purse strings.